Okay. Yesterday we have started with global structure, right? In global structure, the points what we have covered, we know what's fiscal year. I'm writing in short. I hope you don't mind this. And we know how to assign fiscal year to company code. Okay. Then next, we know how to go for posting period variant creation. Then assigning posting period variants to company code, right? Then you know what is open and close periods, right? Once again, before I proceed further, I would like to ask that, is there any query still in mind, or all these points are clear? If everything is clear, then we'll proceed further. Malyadri.
Yes, sir, clear.
Oh, fine. Now, the next half, what we left behind yesterday is like, creation of document type and number ranges. See, this document type and number ranges both are two steps, but I kept them together. Actually, it's a very big story. Understanding this stuff, actually what happens, people normally won't concentrate even for a minute on number ranges at all. But it's a very big story. Try to understand and stay active for a few minutes. Now, starting with document type here. Document type is nothing but voucher. Okay. Voucher type. How many kinds of vouchers you have seen? Like you all belongs to finance, right? How many vouchers you know? Debit voucher, credit memo, debit memo, invoice, receipt payments, all these are vouchers, right? If I ask you a question, like, what is voucher? What do you say? Yes, what is voucher? Any answer?
Promissory note.
Sorry?
It's a receipt. Receipt.
Okay. What if it is a payment? What if it is an invoice?
Sir, promissory notice.
Okay. Is it a promissory note? What do you mean by promissory note? Will you please elaborate a bit further?
Sir, like promising something to pay.
Then again, you are talking about this. This is specific related to payment side. Honestly speaking, as a layman, if you really want to understand the voucher, what is voucher? It's a proof of transaction.
Yes.
What is this? Proof of transaction. No matter whether it is an expense, receipt, payment, invoice, debit, credit memo, whatever it is, whatever may be the type of transaction.
Nothing but a document, no, sir. It is nothing but a
document. That's what I asked. That what it is? It's a document, right? So document in the sense it's somehow a voucher. There are multiple type of documents. See, we have discussed only 4 or 5: receipt, payment, invoice, credit memo, debit memo, and so on. But as far as SAP standard is concerned, SAP has given more than 50 standard document types, right? Which you will see in upcoming discussions in various modules, like in general ledger module, accounts payable, accounts receivable, asset, controlling. You got different document types in different modules. Okay, and it is not like that we are going to use all that 40 or 50. No, depends on requirement. We are going to pick up those document types and we'll code the document. So what at last I said, document type is nothing but voucher type. For example, we used to call journal entry, right? What is that? JE or JV, journal voucher. For sales invoice, SI, for purchase invoice, PI, for payments, PMP, for receipt, RCT or RCPT, right? This is what the term which we normally use in accounting department, correct? So what are all these? These are normal voucher types. So in SAP, for every activity, for every type of transaction, there is a document type. Is it clear? So for example, let's say for example, journal entry. Okay, you are going to call it as SA. What is it? General ledger document. What is SA? General ledger document. Now, we have seen masking yesterday, right? How many types of
Yes, sir.
markings we have seen?
6. There are 6, sir.
6. So you please remember that short term what we have used. I repeat, A for assets, correct? D for customer,
Yes, sir.
K for vendor, M for material accounts, C for contract accounts, F for general ledger, right? So here it is a general entry, journal ledger, right? I have used SA. Now moving further to sales invoice. What it is? Sales is usually done to a customer, right? So what was that marking type you have used for customer? D. D. Now here R means an invoice. Now here PI, purchase invoice. K, vendor, right?
Vendor.
R is an invoice. Payment, K, Z. Payment is made to vendors, right? So have used K. Z is nothing but a payment. So receipt, again, taken from customer, D, Z. I hope you understood now. So likewise, SAP has given more than 50 or 55 document types as a standard means that is available default in a system. Now each and every document is having an indicator through which this document is identified. How do you identify a document? With its indicator. Like each document type is having an indicator. Like SA is known as 01. SA indicator is 01. Not only SA but also AB is a normal accounting document, AA is an asset accounting document, 01. So 01 is usually there for 4 to 5 document types. Now when it comes to DR, what's that? Customer invoice 18, vendor invoice 19, KZ 15, okay, DZ 14. Got it? So it is not like I gave this number. These are those indicators which is standard. What I told you? First of all, what is document type? It's a voucher type, correct? You got this meaning. Now, the next point of discussion here is your document type is always identified with its indicator. So the moment I said more than 50 document types, that means more than 50 indicators as well. Why we need these indicators? Because these indicators helps you to create number ranges. What's the second half of our point? What I said? Document type. This document type is clear for you. Okay. This document type is clear. Now what next? Next half is your number ranges.
Number of
Now
ranges.
listen carefully. Yes. Now listen carefully. What is this number ranges all about? That means by using this indicator, you have to create the number ranges. Suppose, for example, how will you initiate the implementation of number ranges? First, as I told you, every single point is discussed with the client and mentioned in a blueprint. Correct? Don't forget that ASAP methodology. I hope you people still remember that ASAP methodology, which starts with project preparation, business blueprint, realization, final phase, go live, and so forth. Correct? So after business blueprint, now what's that? It's a final business requirement. When both the parties are signing it up, that means each and every corner has been discussed properly, okay, with the solution. Okay, see, I must say, in other words, in the formal language, that business blueprint is a document where what you need and what is advised is mentioned. That means when you gather requirement from the client, you also give the solution for that requirement, correct? So in business blueprint, everything is mentioned, even these number ranges also. Now when it comes to number ranges, remember these are two types. How many? Two types. Then again, into this there are again two types. So first two types is internal and external. You ask these questions to any certified well, I hope they will feel some confusion to answer it. Honestly speaking, or the people who are doing, you please ask these questions to them. Okay, so this is what the difference is Now internal means system generated numbers. System will generate those numbers. Now how will system generate those numbers? Internal is only possible with numeric numbers. Have you got that? That means suppose you have created the number ranges for FA. What is FA? That is for 0, 1. For 0, 1, you have created that 1 to 1 lakh. That means for a particular financial year, for 2021, okay, how many number ranges you want? That means I have created 1 lakh. That means user is able to post nearly 1 lakh journal entries. Is it clear? How many? 1 lakh journal entries. More than enough. But how to decide this? Who will decide this? Who will take the dance? Who will decide this? Of course, your client, right? Your client will decide this. But client is also not aware based on his past experience. Like, last year. See, this is how the questions are, asked. Questions were asked in workshops. Sir, may I know the last year documents which got posted in General Ledger department? How many journal entries usually you guys post in a year? If they say not more than 50,000 or approximately 50,000, so what do you do? For the current year also you are going to decide the 50,000? Alright. See, here the point is nobody will predict the business. We don't know what's going to happen in current financial year or future. Is it clear or not? So based on your past experiences, you will decide your expectation for future. I hope you people are getting this. So your client says that usually we post 50,000 here. So are you going to do the same for 2021 as well? No. If they say 50,000, you create 1 lakh. You got me? Create something extra. Create 25,000, 30,000 documents extra. At least 25 to 30% number ranges must be created in extra mode. Why? Because who knows? Otherwise, if they complete these 50,000 documents, as an example, 8 months or 9 months, then if they try to post another document that is 50,001, as an example, in September, imagine that they have crossed 50,000 documents. In September, they are trying to post a document whose document number is going to be 50,001. So what do you think? The system will give you an error. Why? No number range exists. Why? Because you have created number ranges only 50,000. See, it's just like a bill book. Another example, it's just like a bill book, which consists of 100 bills, 100 empty bills. So after that 100 bills, book is complete, right? So will it be possible to generate again? No, you need new book, right? Correct or not? So what I'm saying is, if they are saying that we need only 50,000, you go for 1 lakh, you go for 10 lakhs. That means in future, maybe 50,000, maybe 50 lakhs. System should not stop working. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Rajesh, Hari, any questions? Any questions?
No,
No, sir.
All these solutions what I gave you about is internal, not external. So what I said, 2 types of number ranges, one is internal and external. When it comes to internal, system will generate number ranges for all your documents. For example, how it works. Okay, I'm writing those examples here. I posted one document, one entry. I'm posting one document, that is one journal entry, that is rent account debit, 2 bank accounts. Okay, this is credit. Now my amount is somewhere 50,000 or 1,50,000 or 2.5 lakhs. Okay. Now, what's the document number? This is my first entry, so document number 1. Is it clear? This is my first entry. Now, when I'm trying to post another entry, what's that? Salary is debited, the same is credited. With the bank with some amount, bank account is credited. Now, what will be the document number here? Is that system will take 10 or 50 or 100? Obviously, the next three number will be picked up by the system. Document number 2. So, how system knows that document number 1, then document number 2, then document number 3, 4, 5, 6 in a sequence? Because you have selected an internal number range. You have selected an internal number range. That's the reason system is picking up one after other. Is it clear on? Why? System is taking a responsibility. And how do system knows that 1 after 2, 3? If it is numeric, then it's quite good. Now, what if client has a requirement to go for external number range? How it works? Now, when it comes to external number range, there are again two types. What are they? One is numeric, another one is alphanumeric. What's another one? Alphanumeric. Now, anyway, if it is external, I'm writing here. User will give the document number. Is it clear or not? Now maybe this is numeric. For example, if it is numeric, now the same document number, maybe document number 10. If the same entry, rent account debit to bank account, this is document number 10. Now very next, since I am responsible to give the document number based on the number what has been written on a physical voucher. Whenever you go for anything, whenever expenses is done, they'll prepare a physical voucher and ask, authorized by, approved by, prepared by, all signatures must be done on it, right? That's the procedure of office. Now, it may be a document number 55. What is the difference? Are you getting me or not? So, if it is numeric, now this is the way I have to provide. No matter whether it is numeric or alphanumeric, a user is responsible to give the document before you post the document. Then only system will accept. Otherwise, system will not accept. Now, what will be the case of alphanumeric? Now, when it is alphanumeric, what happens, sometimes you need a number, you need to identify a location, city, area, along with that voucher number. So, how it would be, as an example, suppose this expenses, this rent is paid for Bangalore. I'm writing Bangalore. Area, electronic city. I've given a code for electronic city / now document number 50. Are you getting? This is alphanumeric. I hope you got it. So what do you think? How do SAP knows that in Bangalore there is electronic city, then in electronic city this voucher has been posted? That means, don't forget this, what I have mentioned here. Now user is responsible like that. Here we are going to stand to give this number. Is it clear or not? I hope you got it. Any confusion?
Yes,
Any confusion? It's a very big story, honestly speaking. Until unless you think on it, what usually the trainers, the mentors, the teachers who train in institutions, what they do, number institution, you just go there, give 01, give 1 to 1000, save. That means 1000 vouchers is posted in a Reliance group in the entire financial year. Will you believe that? See, I'm not opening any blueprints right now. Honestly speaking, if you see my desktop, can you see my desktop? It's full of documents. Okay? So, When you are matured enough, then we'll take those blueprints. I don't want to show any blueprints at this position. When we were in our last discussions, like when we are about to finish or when we finish, then we'll go for those discussions. Okay, you first make yourself fit to digest these tablets. Okay, now, is it working? Let me check. Still it is not working. I think some problem with this. Wait a minute. Let me check another instance. Today network is very dead slow. That's the reason these things are happening. Have you people worked on server today from the morning?
Yeah, sir. Server is working.
Have you guys tested that? My server is
Yeah, it's
quite
working.
What's the user ID here? Which you are using us?
Rohit.
Which?
Rohit.
Okay. Password is welcome. 1 2 3
1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8.
Close. Don't type your password three times wrong. Otherwise,
1 to 8, sir.
password is just 1 2 3 4.
No, sir. Until 8.
Okay. Fine. Now it's perfect. Wait a minute. Let me check. That will do this on. See, this database. Okay, fine. I'll get it. Can you see this document? Usually people have copied this and made it 76. No 76. No, actually it is somewhere around 55. See, these things what they did in copy. They have duplicated this document. Can you see all of them?
Yes, sir. We can do.
When I double click on here, here is the number indicator. I have mentioned the 5 exclamation. When I go back, when I double click on DZ, this is the number indicator. Got it, sir. Next is the N1. I'll call any company. Can you see this? From number to number is created for fiscal year. Now what's the range? Since they have taken in crores. Each document they have created in crores. Can you see that? Now if it is a numeric, no external checkbox. If it is external, compulsory you have to check this box. If you check this box, that means you have to give the number range. Okay. If this box is unchecked, that means system will take the number range from this range. Is it clear or not?
Sir, can you repeat once again?
We will discuss this. See, When you click on insert, I'm doing this one. Suppose 01. What is this 01? SA. I told you, if you are creating a number range for general ledger, you have to give it indicator 01. Now this is based on fiscal year. For every fiscal year, you have to create a separate number range. Otherwise, some fools, what I have seen is, at the time of trading, what they'll do, 9999. That means, have you seen any checkbook? Have you seen any passport? Have you seen any license for lifelong? Go to license office and ask them that I want for 200 years. Right? So why this is done on yearly basis? Every year you have to come up here and create number ranges. Why? Because in 2021 you may need 50,000, but in 2022 your business expansion, okay, your business has expanded, growth. Now you need 1 lakh documents than that 50,000 documents. Rajesh, म्हणजे आज अर्थमायझिंग करा. Yeah, I don't have to spend, half an hour on this single point. But if our foundation is not good, I hope now you people are understanding the seriousness of foundation. Now we are in 10th or 11th, 10th almost 10th discussion today. If usually it was a trainer or other institutions, they might have completed 2 to 3 modules in 10 days. Why? Because they don't want you to get into all these details. Please, if you really want to survive in an industry, get into these details to be discussed properly. Otherwise, you are the decision maker when you are working on an implementation side. If your implementation goes wrong, thousands of crores lost to the client. Now they are not going to keep quiet. They will sue your consulting firm. Are you getting my point? So please decide. Now who will decide this? Now what they will do? ఇలా ఫైనాన్షియల్ ఇయర్ 9999 తీసుకుంటే what happens, when you go for 2022 also, you can post the document from these 1000. And that means, as of now, for explanation, only 1000, okay. But very next, if you don't show them that this may be 1 crore or 10 crore, in live environment, this may be required. But in training, okay, this is only enough. Why? Because we are not going to post more than 10 or 20 documents in each module. Got it? So, who will decide this? This range is decided by the client, and you have to advise him. What he may say, sir, 1 to 50,000 is enough, sir. Maakenduku anta business ledu 50,000 create change. Not like that. If we say 50,000, you create 1 lakh. Why? Because who knows? If 50,000 is done within 6 months, then again you have to come up here. You have to remove that, and you have to update that into 75,000 or 80,000 bit expansion. And you can edit this. See, you can enhance number ranges. But what if there is no other number ranges free here, which you want to continue with the same series? See, if I want, I can speak again for 2 hours on this one. I don't want this. I think what all points I kept in front of you is more than enough to clarify yourself on number range part. So very first, number range, 2 types. What is that? Internal, external. When it comes to internal, only numeric. What I said? Only numeric side. When it comes numeric to external, numeric as well as alphanumeric. But you are responsible to give the document number at the time of posting a document. I hope that's clear. You are responsible at the time of posting a document to give the number. So maybe an alpha, maybe an alphanumeric, or maybe just numeric. What? It is, external. So there are 2 different types. If internal, system will take the next free number at the time of posting a transaction. So document 10 documents got posted. See, when you go there, system will show you that number range status. Can you see this? NR status is nothing but status that how many documents you have used from this range. How many they have used? Only 2. How many you have used? Only 2. That means all number range are free. That means still they can post this. Now once you select internal number range and posted a document, you are unable to change it to external. Is it clear or not? Munde decide chestuvala. I'm sorry, my Telugu is not so good. Okay. You have to decide it first itself, what your client wants. Now he has, showed an interest to construct a residential plaza. After 1 year of construction, his mind changes. మనం ఇప్పుడు కమర్షియల్గా కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం. అరే నౌ డూ యూ థింక్ దట్ ఇంజనీర్ విల్ కంటిన్యూ? What we have decided in our plan is this is residential plaza. Okay. Now after 1 year of construction, when it is almost 60% completed, that fellow came up and said that will it be possible to? So minor changes is accepted, not major changes. So even for that also, like if they want to convert after 6 months into external, for that also there is a solution. But I don't want that experiment right now. Yes, I have that solution. But you please write down these points. Okay, I hope that's quite clear. Okay, so when you decide this, don't go for 999. I have seen many people who are explaining. See here, this guy has done this 999999. That means he has decided this range for lifelong, next 50 years, 100 years. Calendar lasts, not 100 years. Now, will you trust him? That's the reason. Sometimes people used to, present the subject in front of the people, and this is the way. Do you accept this way? Rajesh, what's your opinion on this? Do you think giving directly double line is okay?
No, sir.
Wait a minute. Let me show you a blueprint. That will open your eyes. I have one blueprint. And this is live blueprint. Don't share this recording with third party. This is confidential. Requesting you guys, okay, please not to forward this. Why? Because this is some company's document. And just I'm showing you guys to, build a confidence. This is how a live environment works for. Live financial blueprint I'm showing you up. Actually, it was not in plan, but to just give you the exact look how it is decided at the time of final preparation. This is what it is. Can you see that? This is a blueprint document for financial accounting. I'll come down. Let me come down. Based on this document, implementation is done. Now see here. These are all the account groups. How many account groups you have configured? Almost 12, right? 12. Adi current asset, fixed asset. General ledger structure lo create chesinam kada avanu.
Yes, sir.
Yes. See? It has mentioned about masking also. Here is the account type. Can you see that? Everything is mentioned like that. Manam range enta icham? How much range we have given in fixed asset, current asset?
Fixed asset like
100
2 lakhs to 2 lakhs 100. And
100 kada. Difference. Just give me the difference. 100 kada.
yeah, 100, sir.
But whatever this for this client, what is the range? 5,000.
5,000.
Now, see, if it is cash or bank, what is the range? 5,000. If it is other non-current assets, 10,000. If it is long-term loans and advances, how much? 20,000.
20,000.
If it is share capital, how much it is? 1 lakh. Do you know why I spent half an hour on this screen earlier? Now you know what it is. Now see, so what is the chart of account for this company, for this client? 4,000. All numeric. Now you tell me, After seeing a blueprint, is it not possible for you guys to implement this project in SAP?
Can
Done, right? Rajesh?
yeah, sir, we can.
Yes, this is what I was talking about. Now, how many account groups that they are using up? 41 almost.
41.
Okay. Now, let me go see. This is posting period variant. I'll come down. What is that posting period variant?
APP.
APPV. A is nothing but an initial of this client name. See? Ace Manufacturing Limited. Company code is 4000. Come down. Now see here the document type and number range. Can you see this number range document?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is it only 1000? What is the range? 1000. What is vendor invoice? How many vendor invoice that these invoice can push?
So it's lakhs until 1 crore something. It's
10 lakhs. 10 lakhs. Almost 10 lakh invoices have been given.
yeah. Yes.
When it comes to payment fee, so this is live requirement which I have showed you. Huh? See, when it comes to general ledger documents, what's the range? What's the range? Now, one more point. Almost 10 lakhs. Almost 10 lakhs.
Yes, sir.
Is it somewhere they have written here that this is for lifelong? This is for lifelong. You read out this line. Is that somewhere they have mentioned that this is for lifelong, like 9,999? No. Clear?
Yes,
That's the
yes,
difference between sitting with it and sitting with faculty. I'm sorry to say that, but this is a difference. Okay. So I think it's a very long discussion on internal and external. That's the reason I told you earlier itself that this may take enough time. Okay, so I think internal, external both have been cleared. So document type, number ranges is done. Any confusion still?
No, sir. No, sir. Everything is clear.
Clear. I need this plate. So my next point is maintain field status variant. Field status variant. Now what is field status variant? This is again a 4-character code which I am about to copy from SAP standards. So why we need to create field status variant? See, in field status variant, you got field status groups, and these field status groups will be used to create the rules to control the inputs of transaction by user. Okay. Now, what that means? Now, see here. The best example to understand this field status group, which is applicable on each ledger, is suppose I have posted one entry, salary, debited, and I have written 10 crores to ICICI bank credit 10 crores. Now, this my debit and credit is correct. Okay, my debit and credit is correct. I don't want to give the explanation here. There is no explanation for this entry. Will you accept as an auditor? Now here, your text is missing. Text is nothing but your narration, right? As Raskandara, every entry,
Yes.
every entry, level entry,
Yes.
debit and credit entry. Always you should write a narration, right? What's that
Yes,
in education? That use in education, salary,
Being salary paid.
pay for the month, pay for the month. Okay. Okay. It being human being, ever after a right? They just need an explanation. Okay, I'm sorry to say that, but here text is missing. Now your check number is missing. Okay, your branch is missing. Will you accept this without all these details? Now, as a management, your first question is, ever pitching out, right? To whom you gave this? Is it for only one branch, or is it for overall India, or is it for overall, South Zone? To whom you paid this? So, if you don't want user to miss these details, you got it? Text, branch, check number, department, particular profit center or segment, right? If these details are missing up, what you did, by using field status group, you are creating a rule. What I said, I have mentioned one rule here. Will be used to create the rules to control the inputs of transaction. What do you mean by inputs? These are all inputs, right, which is missing. If these lack of these inputs, you are not going to accept this. Suppose you are sitting at your customer's office to collect 10 lakhs rupees check. He has prepared a check. Okay, today's date, no signature on it. Will you validate that check?
No, sir.
Are a signature is? Okay, fine. Everything is there, amount is there, signature is there, name is there, date is not there. Still it is doubt whether to, present this check on current date or future date. Is it a post-dated check or current dated check? Still you are in a dilemma to be skipped by the user. See, if you make those, fields as required entry, then user is not able to skip that field. Honestly speaking, they will not post any transaction without these fields. It's not working, otherwise I could have shown you this. I don't know if they have some companies or not, so I shouldn't going about it. Let me show you one example. Wait. Free service, right? That's the reason these kind of errors. You please be careful about this ticket. Some problem with the network, otherwise I could have shown you this. Anyways, you got this, right? Any confusion in this area? Any confusion?
No, sir. Nothing from my side.
So we'll create a group as well as we are going to assign the field status group to the company code. Our next point is we have to assign field status variants to my company code. Okay, remember that. When you create these field status group, how we are going to create these field status group? With the help of standards. In standards, nearly 41 groups have been given. Definitely we will configure this tomorrow. Go with quick transaction code. I use some shortcuts to quick access those screens. You will be knowing by this. Don't worry. Now see here, this is standard from which I'm going to copy. Okay, you can create your own rules, but again, this is quite a technical setting which already, given by SAP as a standard. So whenever you take this as a copy, see, this is what field status group. How many? 40, 41, see, almost 43 is here. Can you see? All these groups like G001 is normally used for expenses type of accounts. G005, this is for bank accounts where obligatory value date. That means whenever you are crediting your bank account, your value date is nothing but check date is compulsory. That's what I said. You have prepared a check, signed, name, everything has been given, no date. Now will it be possible? Now if your vendor is very smart, he will present that check by keeping today's date into the bank. Why? Because not giving a date on a check means anytime you can present this check. He is free. Are you getting me or not? Now, if today he has presented a check and he cleared that check, now when you are sitting with a bank statement to reconcile your books, what happens? Now, the account what you have done to post a transaction doesn't contain this value date. So is it easy to reconcile? No. That's the reason. In G005, we are, see here, in G005 at the time of payment transaction, value date, what it is? Set as required entry. If you set it as required entry, user will not be able to skip these fields. I hope that's clear. User will not be, in a position to post the transaction without mentioning this value date. Now there are certain settings in, the upcoming global parameters, the last step of this global structure, where you can make this value date as default date. Whenever you make this value date as default date, system date will be posted along with the voucher. So is that always current date is a check date? Sometimes post date also, right? Are you getting me on? So all these settings, we'll do it tomorrow. Last but not least, after this field status variable, when you assign to the company code, see what happens when you create group rules and you forgot to assign it to company code. That means when user is posting this transaction, these things what you made it as required entry is not applicable, right? Because those rules what you have configured, what you have customized is not assigned to a company code. Remember that day one I told you whatever you configure you have to assign it to company code. Like we have configured chart of accounts, immediately we have assigned to the company code. We have configured posting period variant, immediately we have assigned to company code. We have created financial management area, immediately we have assigned to company code. That means whenever you are posting a transaction, that transaction is posted on company code basis. See here, let me show you that screen again. /n f-0. See here, without company code, your transaction what you are trying to post is incomplete, and this check mark what you are seeing here is required entry. That means whenever you see any inputs with this check mark, can you see this? This check mark, right click. These are required fields. At the time of creation of any Gmail ID or Yahoo ID, you will be given the field with star mark. What does it mean?
Mandatory.
It's required.
Yes, these are also mandatory fields. That means to enter one field document, one post transaction, you need to mention in which company code. Got it? That's the reason whatever we are configuring in basic foundation or in future customizations also, it must be linked to the company code. Okay. Any confusion still here? Fine. So the last point is about enter global parameters, right? I clear this. Anyway, it is on record, don't worry. I'm just clearing it, need some space. The last point is enter global parameters. See, this is a screen where usually all those configurations what you did for the company code is mentioned. Okay, that means when you are configuring enterprise structure, general ledger structure, global structure, everything, right? So usually what happens, that is collected in one screen. Tomorrow I'll show you all these navigations. Don't worry about these shortcuts and all what I'm using right now. This is just a piece of explanation. We'll implement this tomorrow. What's your company code? Any one of you? I think your company code.
RET. I mean
GOUT. No, I think so. This company code is not there.
HNPS.
UT.
I'm talking about your company code. So here it is. Okay. Now the moment I double click on it, you have created your chart of See, your fiscal year variance, status variance, your posting period. Whose company? Rajesh, is it yours?
Yes, sir, mine only.
You have created your own calendar.
Yes, sir, that time they had said like that, so only I created. Actually, I'm
Where
not
it is
aware of.
exactly?
Here only,
In the
sir.
same institution.
Naveen. Yeah, same institution, Naveen.
Well. I don't know why. Now you are clear, right?
Yeah, now it's clear, sir.
I'm editing it, huh? Don't mind.
Okay, sir. No problem.
I am really shocked that how come it is possible that field status variant when I'm not considered that you have created this.
Yeah. Actually, we created 5 or 6 companies same as like this, sir.
భలే అది అర్థమైంది కదా
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Well, anyway, every doctor's treatment is different. I hope at least now you are on point. That what is correct and what is wrong. So in global structure about company code, use these points. They have not given this. Why to use all these points and all? They skip this.
Yeah, sir, they haven't said this one. No, sir, he haven't said these kind of things.
So in global parameters, what happens, all those settings what you made is showed, captured, right? See, whenever you create your company code, it is mentioned here. When you assign your company code to the company, for which company this belongs to, yes, it is. See, how come your company code and company both are same? That means your group and your subsidiary both are same. Huh? That means my name is Anwar Mirza, my son name is also Anwar Mirza. Who is the father, who is the son then? This is what the difference is. Well, anyway, mistakes are there to learn. Please don't repeat this in future. Okay. So if it is RETL, then what will be the group? RETL, GRP. Okay. Or RET, GRP. Or REL, GRP. This is our group what we have considered, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, anyway, so all these points, at least these 6 check boxes must be there. 6 boxes. See, what happens, I'll tell you, this one, so that tomorrow we can directly configure. The very first check box, what I'm doing here is, supports you to create financial statements based on business area. Not this, based on business area. Why this is required? See, there is one report. I don't know whether that opens or not. FS10N. Whenever you go for any ledger display, okay. Here actually a new GL is implemented. This is updated one, right? That's the reason this is not able to see. On behalf of ledger, earlier there was business area. Or else now also you can take with dynamic selection. I don't want to get into those details now. That means when you select this box, that means you are free to create financial statements at business area level. Suppose, how many branches we have configured? 6, right? Now, will you create one P&L account for 6 branches? Yes, Hari, Rajesh, Malyadri. I'm having 6 branches. How many P&L accounts, how many balance sheets you have to prepare? All 6, right? Yes, sir. You will be interested to see 6 P&L accounts. Why? Because you want to see how each branch is performing, whether we are in loss or profit, whether to invest into that business further or not, whether to keep that unit running with the business or not, whether to shut down that business. How will you know if you don't prepare financial statements based on business area? Correct? So when you check this box, you are having a feature to create financial statements based on business area. Actually, now this business area is outdated. Now it is a segment. I don't know whether you people are aware of IFRS or not. What is IFRS? GAAP, International Financial Reporting Standards, right, is an accounting principle based on which you have to prepare the financial statements. Got it? Accounting principles is used normally to prepare financial statements. Suppose in India, you will prepare according to Indian accounting standards. If it is international, then some countries go for IFRS, some countries go for their own GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles. Right? US GAAP, UK GAAP, Brazilian GAAP, right? French GAAP. Every country have their own accounting principles. So based on that accounting principles, you are eligible to create financial statements. So first checkbox is that. Now second is proposed fiscal year. This is quite technical setting, sir. See, this setting is somehow how it works. Let me tell you that. Suppose this is related to again number range. When you create number range and that detail is done. For example, let me open this. This is a bit technical. Just understand it this in this way. I have created number ranges 01 for 2021. What is this 01? SA, remember this. 1, 2, I have created 10,000. Now what is this? This is the internal I have decided. Now very next I have to create 01. Okay. From 1 to 1 lakh. That means when you are done with 2021 this document, system instead of giving an error that no document number exists, system will take number ranges from this line. Is it clear or not? That's the reason what I have suggested you guys, what I have advised you guys, if you really don't want to get into this case, if you really don't have to get into this case, what to do? If suppose you don't want user to get into the second phase for proposed fiscal year option, then what's the solution in your mind for this? Simple, you enhance a maximum range here itself. Suppose if you are sitting with a client and client says that we just need hardly 20,000 vouchers post just comes our 1 financial year loan. Then what you did? Where is 20,000 and what about this range? I have showed you a live blueprint, right? Yes. How much is the range that they have given? Do you think really companies use 20,000, 30,000 vouchers every year? Very hard. When it comes to general ledger.
Yes, yes.
That is. So if you don't want to get into proposed fiscal year option, what I do, I have what is that requirement here itself, enhancing my number. Is it clear or not? So if in case that happens, you are using this proposed fiscal year option, then please create that number range the way I have created as 9999. Exceptional case, not a regular practice. Clear? Now third, define default value date. Just now at the time of field status group I have showed you G005, right? Or that you kept value date as required entry. That means at the time of posting, user forgot to take down value date. So what happens, on that screen, value date is taken as current date of the system. Then later on when they are sitting for reconciliation, yes, they can edit this. Again, that's again a big story when you sit for general ledger posting. At that time itself I'll show you what are the possibilities of changes. And remember one point in your mind is that once you post a transaction in SAP, you are not able to delete that transaction. So what next? Either you have to reverse it with posting a correct document, first option. Second, if it is a change, up to what extent you can change the document. Yes, correct? So you make this feature as default, at least to avoid the mistake. Okay, the rest all features are additional. whenever you need this as a requirement, you come up here and do it. Otherwise, at the time of posting, you can call up posting. Okay. Now, negative posting permission. What is this? This will help you to reverse the document. Just now I said, right? There is no possibility to delete the transaction. Then how you are going to rectify? By reversing. So you have to check this to reverse the document. The next one is activate PM. This PM is not, this is cache management feature. This supports them to trigger cache pooling reports. That's why I told you, right? Cache pooling, some other cache management features. So you have to activate this. Okay. So whenever you are dealing with global parameters, at least these 5 features must be activated. Is it clear? That was all about what you have to configure in enter global parameters. That was your last point in global structure. Yes, any confusion? I hope it's quite clear.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
So much detail. I'm really sorry, but this was very much required to have a detailed discussion of these points. Now, just go ahead with this recording. If you have any queries, when we start queries, we'll discuss that and we'll proceed for implementation. Don't forget to attend more stuff one-on-one because I'm planning to have a general department immediately considering 4 points what we have to.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yes. Before closing this call, may I know if any queries in your mind?
No, sir, my side is everything is clear.
Audio.
Yeah, fine, sir.
Hari is there.
Yes, sir.
Any queries in your mind for these points?
No, sir, understood.
Sure. Okay. That's all for the day. I'll catch you tomorrow at the same time for implementation updates plus general ledger departmental explanation. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thanks for joining. Bye for now.
Yeah, thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
క్యాన్ కూడా ఎత్తుకోవాలి అమ్మ, చాలా నీళ్ళు తెచ్చుకున్నాం.